Alright, so almost everybody in this room is going after their degree to further their career and make more money, hopefully, you know? What if college only took 2 years and then you could go straight into your workforce? You know, you can get into your career, pay off those debts, pay off that those student loans that you get. How important is our general education classes? Well, I've learned a decent amount of things from these classes. Are they really going to further my career and help me later on in life? I believe that if we get rid of these classes, that we would get rid of some of the time that we waste in college. We'd improve our careers, and we'd have less of debt coming out of college. So with time wasted, college takes 4 years normally to get your degree, unless you take AP classes, and it takes less. If we got rid of the general education classes, it would take 2 years. You can go directly into your career, and you can start making money, you know, start furthering your life. It'd be really beneficial. Or we could use those extra 2 years that we waste on general education classes to take more major classes. And we could use those major classes to be a stronger applicant in the job that we want. We could double major easier. We could do many, we could just be more experienced in general in our career. There weren't a lot of expert opinions on general education classes, but there are a lot of students that are saying that they feel like they've been mistreated by the college system. So I have a quote from a student at NIU. It said, her name's Alyssa Prax, and it says, "Yes, both classes may be beneficial to some, but mostly just rehash concepts and skills that the majority of students already possess or will pick up in other courses throughout their academic career." So I believe this is true. I believe that a lot of us already have these skills that we need to further our career, that we learned a lot of these in high school, actually. A lot of the stuff that we're taking, like I'm going to take a history class next semester that I already took in high school. So I don't see the point of retaking the class, and it would just, if I didn't have to take a class, then it would improve like the amount of time it just takes to go get through college. Secondly, it would improve our careers. A lot of us would be able to either like double major easier, just because general education would take 2 years. You can spend those 2 years taking classes on other parts of your major. Like say, like for me, I'm in business CIS, which is computer information systems. If I took those other 2 years to do something like cybersecurity or something like that, not only would I be able to offer hardware and software knowledge of computers to a company, but I'd also be able to protect the computers for that company. So I'd be a lot stronger of an applicant when applying for my career. And lastly, I have, it would decrease the amount of money that we spend on college. A lot of students are spending like 20 grand a semester just to go to their college, and they're getting the same education that we're getting, you know. They're spending 20 grand on just general education classes. They're not getting anything special. They wouldn't have to pay as much if they only went for 2 years, or they probably get paid more if they use those 2 years to increase their major knowledge. I have another quote from a student at STSU. He was a writer for the Daily Aztec. His name's Eric Sen. The money spent on textbooks and tuition for those classes would benefit students more if it were safe. It's hard enough paying for major classes by themselves, but paying for additional classes is an even greater burden. 2 years isn't much shorter than 4 years. Students don't need these extra 2 years to develop. If students aren't mature and prepared for the real world by the time they enter college, they should be, which I think is true. I think most of us already have the skills that we need. We don't need to polish them off at all. So all in all, I believe that general education classes are kind of like a necessary evil right now. Like we don't really need to take them. A lot of us already know what these classes are offering for us and what we're going to get out of them. And believe that by getting rid of these classes or using the extra time to take more classes that will increase your major knowledge, that we would save a lot of time, improve our careers, and we would spend less money on college. Thank you.
Chance, what did you think?
I like the topic for reals though, because like, I feel like we all can relate to that. We're all in junior college, we're all taking general ed courses that really don't help us towards our major. I liked your preview. You listed all your points. One thing for me was like the walking kind of got a little bit distracted, like walking back and forth, because I was like going from the, I would like see you walk in, go down to your feet, and then obviously you'd have your back towards the side of the room, or that was my sort of when you were going back and forth. The hand gestures were pretty well. You were addressing us. I think your eye contact was really good too. It's just the feet game.
All right. Yeah, I'll agree with most of the things that you said about the delivery issues. The content issues, I think, are a little bit more problematic. You need to have some better evidence to prove some of the points that you're talking about. Basically, you have two sources that you cite. Both of them are students in college, and certainly they have an agenda, a belief system, and attitudes that are going on here, but you don't give us any context for the rest of the argument. The notion that the GE requirements are unnecessary or that they don't have any value to your career is a presupposition that needs some demonstration. You need to show that people don't, that knowledge of history is unimportant for computer information sciences, or that the ability to write doesn't mean anything to somebody who is doing, some other job or has some other career that doesn't involve a lot of writing or literature or any of those sorts of things. The truth of the matter is that what you seem to be describing is tech school, and you need to tell us why people should be choosing a technology school rather than a liberal arts education. If the goal is to get prepared for a job, we should be sending people to trade schools, and they can learn to do, you can go to DeVry and get your all the classes that you were talking about and get a certification on that and start working immediately. And I think there's a stronger argument to be made there that says, we're making, some of us are making the wrong choices. We're interested in a particular career. We're not really interested in an education. We want to be able to do something, and by going here, we're wasting time and energy. We should be going someplace where we're going to be on a fast track to what it is that we're trying to accomplish. I don't think you have enough information to show that we don't have a need for the education that you're talking about. I think that you just treat it as a presupposition. So I think the argument would work better if you kind of went at it from a slightly different direction there. There needs to be a much stronger organizational structure to the speech as well. Let me see. Oh, and at one point it sounds a little bit like you're writing off people who are underprepared. It's like, look, if you don't know it by the time you get out of high school, then you're never going to know it, and hell with them. You don't literally, you don't say it that way, but that's kind of the way it comes across, and I think you might want to be careful about that. There are probably a lot of people in this room, for instance, that are underprepared, and one of the reasons they're here is to catch up, to get prepared, to be able to do the things that you think everybody should be able to do, and I think that's one of the things that especially a community college does, so you got to do a little bit more audience analysis in regard to that. All right, thank you.